call is now being
Global Talent.
recorded.
Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
David Lopez.
un individuo encarcelado en de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Talent.
Hello.
James.
David.
Hey, what's up?
Hey,
Yes, sir.
what's
What's going
up,
on?
David, and what's up to Jesse? How are you guys doing today?
What's going on? We're good. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, we're doing all right, man. And so since we're on our YouTube with our loyal listeners, I feel like brief introductions are necessary, but they're not mandatory. My name is David. That's all I got to say. You guys know all about me.
Yep. This is Jesse. As you guys know, I'm the other half of the David Jesse show. Nah, but yeah,
My wife calls him the other person.
Yeah, the other person. I'm Sancho Person. Yeah, but yeah. So we're doing good. We got a little extra time today. James been a little busy, and so he's been working and stuff like that, and he happened to have some time. So we figured, we still have our regularly scheduled show on Sunday in the evening time. Hopefully, if nothing comes up. But we figured, hey, might as well. We got a little extra time. Why not get on and hang out with the listeners a little bit, escape this concrete jungle for a little while. Today's a down day, another training day. You got a lot of these down days here in prison. So we've pretty much been stuck in the cell for most of the day. But, this is an opportunity to escape for a little bit. I definitely like coming on here because it takes me out of here for a little bit, Yeah, just an hour here, an hour there. So.
Unfortunately, this is prison. This is no matter.
What? You don't say.
No matter what we got going on, no matter what we're doing out on the tier and out on the yard, this is a reality. This is a reality for Jesse and I. We are incarcerated. We are in a cell. We are locked in, and I can't come out right now. They got no justification to open this door. We are on lockdown. Here in Centinela, they do it in Calipatria also, but here in Centinela, every first Wednesday is considered a training day where we're just in the cell all day, lockdown, and every third Friday. Today is that third Friday, so I've had an easier Friday. Well, it started out kind of rough because Jesse and I, we had our finals today. Spring semester for college is over. Well, I mean, for one of the colleges, Jesse's doing 2 colleges right now, so he finished his finals for one. I finished mine. I did psychology, sociology, and physical anthropology, and I'm going to tell you right now, man, I cannot wait to see these classes go. This physical anthropology class is a nightmare. I've been thinking about primates. I've been thinking about hominoids, hominins.
He's even been walking around the cell like a monkey.
Yep, yeah, I've been thinking about New World monkeys, Old World monkeys, tool industries. This is just a nightmare, man, and I'm glad that it's over. Absolutely difficult test. How was your test, Jess?
Yeah, no, it was I anticipated it being a lot worse than what it was, just based on we both kind of ran into the roadblock on that first in the midterm for psychology.
Yeah.
So I expected things to be a lot worse, but it wasn't that bad. I took like David, I took psychology and sociology, but instead of the physical anthropology, I took business 141 entrepreneurship. And it's one of the last classes. I need one more, so that way when I transfer my units over to Imperial Valley College, I can declare both my degrees. I can get a psychology and business degree for transfer. But yeah, so it wasn't that bad. The business class wasn't that bad. I thought, like I said, I thought it'd be a little bit harder because I don't feel I was applying myself to my full capacity this semester. Because as David mentioned, I'm also taking I'm also in-person college as well, and I'm doing statistics, and I just kind of, if I'm honest with myself, I think that midterm on that psychology the first time around kind of broke my spirit a little bit because I did hit the ground running at the beginning of the semester.
It shook us to the core. I'm going to tell you right now, that was one of the hardest tests I've ever taken in my life. It was hard. and I've taken quite a bit of college classes already. I've already taken statistics, and that was a hard class. But that first psychology test was all about biology, what's going on in your system and in your body, what your mind is doing. It had to do with the hormones, endorphins, the endocrine system. It was insane. And
neurons.
What I loved about this test, it was 100 questions about what it means to be a JCAT.
Yeah, right up our alley.
Yeah, mental disorders. I know those well. Medications. There was even Tourette's and kleptomania in there. I know lots of people that pop off at the mouth.
Half the guys that I walk around here in prison, I think they got Tourette's because they're just talking out the side of their neck most of the time.
Yeah. I recognized it, and it was all about judging people and stress, and it was
like, oh man, this is right up my alley. They must have wrote this for prisoners.
It was great, man. And then I took that one first, and then I took the anthropology one after, and that was rough. Yeah. That was rough. I'll be happy to climb out of that class with a C. Yeah. And I got A's, all A's, like 1 B, and that anthropology is going to give me my first C probably, man. It was that hard.
Oh, hey,
and I earned it. I don't care.
C, well, you know what they say, C's get degrees.
Yeah, I'll wear it like a scar on my body.
Yeah, sometimes, I mean, I know for a fact you applied yourself because you were hitting it hard. So
yeah, you for days.
Yeah, if you got a C, it's because the class was absolutely difficult. So I don't think you should be too heavy on yourself.
I've been on that class for months. I don't know, and that's all I do.
Yep.
Study, read, just grind, and I'm telling you, man, if I get a C, I don't know how anybody passes that class.
Yeah. No, yeah, because David's definitely a great student. I think it's just, and that's I think it's important for for the listeners to understand too. That's what a lot of our time is consumed with. A lot of people think like, oh, they're in prison, they got nothing but time on their hands. But the reality is that's not the case, because when you're taking 3-4 classes at a time, you're working.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
You're doing several self-help programs, like finding the time to sit down and read, 50-page chapters, and these are big pages, small writing, and 30, 40, 50-page chapters, and you got to retain a bunch of some of this stuff is useless information. Fortunately for us, we like psychology, we like sociology, but like I said, that first test was a little, it was rough because I was looking for psychological concepts versus biological concepts.
Versus digestion. They were talking about digestion.
All
kinds of weird things. And I was like, all right, well, look, I ain't the scientist, so I just want to pass it.
Yep. And so, but that's good for us though now because, like I said, I got 1 more month, about 3 weeks left of statistics, and it's cool because now that Dave's not consumed by the other one, then he can help me study for the next. I've been going to a tutor outside of the building, but it'll be a lot easier just to do it right here, and still occasionally go see the tutor as well, but prepare for my final because I got 1 more test and then I got a final for statistics. The test is due is I think May 30th, and the final is June 4th. So I had to get that out the way. It'll be. I mean, even with getting these finals right here out of the way, it kind of like takes a weight off our shoulders, so that way you can kind of like throw it in cruise control until next semester.
I think the biggest irony about this whole thing is that we had the hardest time with statistics, and we are a statistic, right? We've satisfied several thresholds of statistics.
Yeah, now I want to know how they're going to apply my statistics to something in society.
Yeah, I haven't heard James in a while, so I'm sure he's running down the hallway. We're ready, James. We're ready for you right now. I need to know how your day is. He's like, I'm up.
Is my turn already?
Running down the hallway.
Yeah, that's your falling asleep. Yeah, I don't know what you've been doing all day, but
brushing his brocha.
Yeah. I've been cooking all day, James. Hey, I don't even know how James would be able to eat one of those tostadas with that brocha. He's gonna have to.
You gotta lift it up.
Lift it up. Yeah. Put like a hinge on it.
You'll probably put a hair tie on it.
Yeah.
like a man bun. Put it in front.
Put a hair tie on the brocha and yeah. Okay.
Put pigtails. Come on, James. I've ever seen you with that big of pigtails.
Damn. Hey, I think if I do that, I might go viral if I do that. I might be the first.
Hey, cornrows. You put some cornrows in it. Yeah.
Cornrows in the brocha.
That's it. We started a trend. That's what you wanted.
Hey,
Yeah.
if I put some dookie braids on my brocha, would that be considered, appropriating other people's culture?
Culture.
Yeah.
I was thinking more like some beads. You know what I mean? Put some beads on them.
Oh, okay. Man, I might have to do it, but yeah, no, everything's been good. Actually, today was my first day off, and man, and to be honest with you, I really haven't done anything today. I just been indoors. It's piping out here. I wasn't trying to step out of the house, and I just been trying to relax, because normally, when I go to work, I have these 10-hour shifts, but I'm out of the house at least 12 to 13 hours a day. Just because based on my commute and getting ready for work and all of that. So today I'm definitely taking it easy, just relaxing. Did a whole lot of nothing around here, and it feels good. And then but you know what? A few days ago, I went ahead and did a live, and I was because I came across this video from KCAL News 9 in LA. Where they were talking about the LA probation department, and I wanted to go ahead and play it for you guys to get feedback from you guys and tell me what you guys think about it, and maybe even share some of your experiences, whether it was in the halls, camp, or possibly YA.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
Let's go.
All right.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Here it goes.
I think I'm familiar with this, but I wanna hear it.
Okay.
New details about the state of LA County's juvenile justice system. This after the Department of Probation releases new information about the number of probation officers placed on leave.
KCAL News assignment editor Mike Rogers has been following all the twists and turns of this story. Mike, how many probation officers are we talking about here?
Since January 1st, the LA County Department of Probation says they have suspended 66 probation officers for misconduct, both in the juvenile facilities, which has been the primary problem, as well as in some of their adult facilities as well. 66, though, pretty staggering number here. I do want to show you some video, though. We've had issues, of course, in the past with all of this. The LA County Probation says 18 of the people that were suspended, those officers, were put on leave for suspected sexual misconduct. 9 of those were arrests unrelated to their employment. 39 put on leave for just general misconduct, things the department says included excessive force, child endangerment, child abuse, possession of contraband, and negligent supervision. The Department of Probation says things are so tough right now, they actually have to restructure their internal affairs division because of the way things were being run prior to this new probation chief coming in. Because of that, all of these cases have been given to the actual state attorney general's office that is now conducting investigations. You remember we showed you that video not too long ago where several probation officers were accused of just standing around while kids were fighting each other inside of these day rooms. Those officers are included in this 66, but in total 66 probation officers placed on leave for their alleged misconduct. Some of them were off the job alleged misconduct. The probation department says they are releasing these numbers to increase transparency. They say they're trying to regain the trust of the public after everything that has gone on in the juvenile justice system. They also wanted to point out that this is a small fraction of their 2,800 sworn employees. I did ask the department how many of these employees, or how many total employees, work within the juvenile system. They have not gotten back to me with that number. Guys?
All right. Well, I'm sure you'll let us know when you get it. Thanks so much, Mike.
After 11 p.m.
All right.
Wow. That's a lot to digest, but I'm not surprised at all. As you guys well know, I've been through the juvenile system. I spent years in the juvenile system. I was all over the place. Jesse spent a lot of time in the juvenile system. The youth authority.
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
It's an ugly place to send children into that system. But I do think that some of those kids needed to be taken off the street when they did. But I don't feel that they did juvenile justice did them any justice.
You want to call back?
Yeah, because this is a topic kind of, James, that we got to get into a little bit more.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
it's,
obviously. Okay, cool.
I could see it from from all sides. Sometimes you just want to beat them damn kids. I'm just kidding. I'm just messing around, man. Let me call back. I was just messing with you.
Hey, that would have definitely got us banned off of TikTok.
I thought that's the reason I said it. I had to get it out.
Can't be messing with the children. All right, so they're gonna be calling us back right now. You know, their 15-minute call was, came to an end. Unfortunately, these global tel link, or like how I like to call it around here, garbage tel link. For some odd reason, they haven't upped the limit of their phone calls, or just they should just remove it at this point. I mean, the calls are free. I would understand on the pay phones on the wall, then yeah, those should have a limit. But on the tablets, that doesn't make any sense. But here we go, calling right back, and I'll pick it up right now.
Esta es Global Tel Link. Usted
This
tiene
call
una
is now
llamada
being
prepagada de
David Lopez.
un individuo encarcelado de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Tel Link.
Hello.
James?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so now look, this is the thing. I was kind of a rough kid when I went into the system. I was more interested in about what my peers thought about me than doing good, Like I wanted to do the most. I wanted to be out there. I wanted to like be up in people's faces and stuff. That's how I was when I was in the halls and at different camps and stuff like that. But they're like probation officers or from the probation department that dealt with me when I was a kid, right? And right off the bat, like I was just thinking, I was like, you know what? There's some corrupt ass motherfuckers. I was just thinking about that. But then there was three names that came to mind. They were two of them were juvenile hall workers, and one of them, she was an older lady. Her name was Miss Carol, and from the halls, and Jesse knows her, and there was something about that lady's kindness, and she was stern. Like if you got out of line, Miss Carol will put you in check quick. Yeah, quick.
But she commanded respect.
She commanded respect, like almost in a motherly or grandmotherly kind of way.
Right.
And
because she gave it to you.
She gave it to you. And I remember one time I was just sitting there, and like in the halls, they make you sit on these benches, and the benches are mostly made out of concrete. Some of them are metal, but most of them are concrete. And I was sitting there, and I was just staring at the ground, and I wasn't really tripping on nothing. But Miss Carol, she noticed, that I was just down that day, and I remember she came up to me and she was like, "What's wrong?" And I tripped out on that because she was so kind in the way that her concern was, and she just asked me how I was doing, but she said it in a way that was so nurturing and loving that it made me feel better. Like, damn, I'm not in here by myself in this machine, It's like a machine of emptiness. And she used to put on Night Nurse. She used to put on Gregory Isaacs. And to this day, I still listen to that song and think about Miss Carol when I listen to Gregory Isaacs, which is like reggae. And she would put it on pretty loud for us all just to kick back and relax to, And I think about her, and I think about Miss Elisa. Remember Miss Elisa, Jess?
Yeah, Miss Elisa?
Yeah.
Yeah, from Unit 3?
She worked in Unit 5 when I was there.
Oh, yeah. But remember, Unit 5 used to close down.
Yeah, she was a bigger lady, right?
Yeah.
Yep. And Miss Elisa, it was Olisa, huh?
Miss Ulisa.
Ulisa?
Yeah, Ulisa.
Yeah, Miss Ulisa. Yeah. And that lady was so nice, man. That lady would she would bring pizza in, and she was pretty straightforward though. She She would call me to the podium, and I would go up there, and she'd be like, "How you doing? You hungry? You want some pizza?" I was like, "I do." And then she'd be like, "Huh? Oh, did she? Oh shit, yeah." And yeah. So I remember I went up there and got some pizza, and then I was gonna take it back because right there she knew I was gonna share it with other kids. She was like, "No." She's like, "You're gonna eat that right here because I know that they're gonna try to press you for it." She'll eat it right here.
Oh, who you talking about, Miss Alicia?
Yeah.
The black lady, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Miss Alicia. Yeah.
Alicia.
I thought you were talking about Ulisa. No, Miss Alicia.
Yeah, Miss Alicia, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because right now you told me, because that's how she used to do it. She'll bring the food.
Yep.
She'll make you eat it at the...
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
And I think about my probation officer, which was Miss Jody. And Miss Jody, she was so happy. She gave me chances when I got out just that she could have taken me back for. Just dumb stuff, though. I wasn't doing breaking no crazy stuff, but I was smoking weed and doing stuff like that. But she looked like, when I would mess up, she looked so hurt, like she always told me that I have so much potential, and she would always try to come and check on me and stuff. And you could just tell that when she brought other people from the probation department, she always went there to kind of like show me off, like, look, this is one of mine, like this is one of my caseload right here and stuff. And I used to see it. And the day that I graduated high school, she was there. She wanted to see me graduate, and it was I graduated with a lot of kids from the system, and she actually went there, and she was so happy, man. She was beaming when I graduated high school, and she came up and she gave me the biggest hug, and she told me, "You're off probation. You did it," And I can't say that they're all bad, but then I know some of the other ones. I'm thinking about like St. Catherine's Home for Boys is gone, but that place was freaking insane, and they just like those are gladiator schools. Those places right there. They're less controlled environments. They staff them with pretty much whoever. But I know some pretty good. Staff that worked there too, but they were corrupt. Let's be real here. They did not believe in the recovery aspect of being there. They were there to keep us. I guess I don't even want to say safe, but they're supposed to keep us safe. But we used to get these little allowances, and we would go on these vans. And I won't say no names of what staff it was, but he took us, right. He was in charge of taking the kids, and we had to go to like a little outing. So he took us to an outing, and he was like, "Look, man, I'm gonna go right here to downtown." He goes, "I know you guys got all that money on you." He goes, "Whatever you guys need, I'll pick it up for you real quick, and you guys just do it in the van." So I was like, so one person was like, "Hey, can you get me some weed?" He's like, "No problem." Another dude's like, "Can you get me this? Can you get me that?" I'm like, "Hey, man, can you get me a bag of meth?" He was like, "Yeah, how much you want?"
Pulls it out of his pocket.
Yeah, and it was crazy, and that's what that place was like, we were at each other's throats at that place.
Hey, David, hold on. This is so.
Oh, okay.
we gotta stop.
I'm gonna hook you up. I can give you his number. I go pick up.
Hey,
Yeah.
that's definitely that's something that I never seen. That right there, it definitely is shocking, to hear. So he was supposed to supervise you guys, make sure that you guys were all good, but he was also the conecta.
He was a connect, yeah. And not only that, right? So yeah, we go. Okay, so.
But wait, there's more.
And then he would take us to a park right there. Yeah, but wait, there's more. So yeah, he was a connect, and I was surprised a little bit, when I first seen that. I was like, damn, what the hell? So yeah, he would take us over there, pick us up shit, and I asked for straight meth, and he came back with a bag, give me money, give me meth. The other dude smoked weed, and we hotboxed the van that we were supposed to be in, like the county van, and we were just right there chilling. Yeah, that was that place. And then I got in some of the most violent fights, man, that I've probably ever been in the juvenile system in that place. That place was crazy. So then, not only that, there was some chick working there, and she was getting maxed out by one of the dudes right there, by one of the kids that was in there. He was a paisa dude. He was cool, and she was. They would always come out of the room, and I would look, and he came out one time. He went in there with her, because I was a connect also at that place. So he went in the room with her, and then he came back out. He's like, "Hey, she wants to get high." He goes, "You got enough for us?" And he boom, hooked it up. I made a deal right there, and then he went in there and freaking, Yep, maxed her out right there. And but it was so normal. It wasn't like, it was just standard corruption. I don't know what their policies were crazy. You know, I ended up getting arrested while I was on a home pass with one of my homeboys, one of actually mine and Jesse's homie. He's dead now. He passed away. But we took off, and I was with them, and we ended up getting stopped, and we got arrested, and they came and got me out. Got me back out of the halls, and when I got back, they said that I had drug paraphernalia on me and all that stuff. So I was the only kid in that whole placement that place couldn't help me because my addiction was so bad. I was the only kid in that placement that was going to outside NA meetings. Yeah, they had to take me to outside NA meetings.
They had to give him some uncut help.
Yep, yep. And then it was crazy because that's where I met one of my boys, man. Right there, he was a staff member. He worked for the county of Riverside. He was a staff member, and he took me to the placement. I mean, he was the one that was in charge of taking me out there to go find an outside NA meeting. And guess where? He was also a former bouncer for a strip club out there. So that was our pit stop. You know?
Man,
Took me over there. I met a bunch of strippers. Yep.
I was definitely in the
Esta
wrong.
llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
I was definitely in the wrong county.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what's crazy? They had kids though from LA County. They had kids from LA County there, San Bernardino County.
Yeah.
You know, that place was no longer there. They bulldozed it to the ground. That was a placement to go to for emancipation, and kids that were coming from YA, like if they went to their 90-day diagnostic, and if it worked out, they'll send them over there to that place, or it was you were one step away from YA. That's where you go there.
Yeah, to get the Willie T waivers.
Yeah, the Willie T waivers. Yep, like you're gonna go to somewhere like that, and there was 2 placements that were like that. St. John's and St. Catherine's.
St. John's, I think, was the worst placement ever in our county.
It was pretty. Yeah, it was crazy because we would throw full-blown riots with St. John's.
Yeah.
They were under the same umbrella, so they would come and we would do football games, and it was like full-blown prison riots. All St. Catherine's would fight all St. John's. We just go at it right there, and the staff would it was crazy because there's no repercussions. Like when they say that the kids fight in front of you, like they don't write you up. Like you don't get a 115. They'll bump you down like a privilege status, but you'll get it back in like a week or 2 weeks or something like that. But they don't. There's no isolation. There's nothing like that. Like you just go. I remember I attacked somebody in a self-help group, right there. That place, you know, and it was just. It was like fun to them. They knew what was coming. They knew I was going to do it. They were watching. They're ready, and it was all about like I would have to explode out of. I exploded out of the chair that time, and then I attacked somebody, dropped them right on the chair, was on them, and then they explode out of their chair, the staff, and it's almost like they're like linebackers or dudes come out of nowhere, man, and they just take you to the ground. You're going down hard when they get you, and everybody's laughing. I'm laughing, they're laughing, like it's like a giant joke, you know. And then one of my other homies, during that one, I got him pretty good, and as soon as they dragged me off, another one of my homies got up and ran that dude down, and another staff member, more incidents, and yeah, it was crazy. It's a crazy thing, and they wonder why them kids come back so violent. You know, like I became extremely violent in the juvenile justice system.
Yeah, ultimately, you're for even I've seen many a kid come into juvenile hall scared, weak, fragile, delicate.
I was one of them,
and walk out of there madman.
Yeah, I did not come into the system a hardened criminal. I was a scared little boy that was in over my head. I wanted to impress kids like Jesse. Like I've mentioned before too, Jesse remembers my first fight in juvenile hall. I did not want to fight that kid. I was afraid to fight him. I thought that kid was gonna fuck me up, and turned out I was good. I was the monster.
Fear is a cold motivator.
Yeah, fear is a cold motivator because I ended up getting that kid, you know. But
it's funny because that fool had been the one bullying a bunch of other people around there.
Yep.
You know, like basically anybody.
Yep.
Anybody that didn't have other people with them.
Yep.
But no, and that's how it is. Like I said, even like in YA, I've seen a bunch of kids go to YA, and by the time they left, you know, they were letting their nuts hang. You know?
Yeah, a little madman.
Yep, coming out savage. You know, but it's not even it's not just the environment of the kids, like dealing with a bunch of other dysfunctional and angry and violent children. It's the staff, like how James was mentioning, the topic of the probation officers and stuff. Like, for the most part, I could say like our juvenile hall and Indio Juvenile Hall, for the most part, most of the staff there were pretty decent people. Like how you said, Miss Alicia.
Yeah.
I love her to death.
Yeah.
She
Still think about her. Yeah.
Yeah, she took care of me the whole time I was away. She used to send me stamps and envelopes and stuff like that. She wrote me, same thing. She would bring food and she just understood people. She understood the youngsters and she was a great woman. And her and let's see, there was a few of them. In Indio Juvenile Hall, there were several staff there. And you had the staff there that of course, walked around acting like idiots.
Or the indifferent ones,
Yeah.
Those were worse in some aspects, huh? The staff that were indifferent, kind of like...
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
There was no acknowledgement
Right.
to the suffering going on around them. Like, like, can't you see I'm suffering here? Like, at least...
Yeah, help me.
You at least do something to let me know that you understand, Don't just walk by freaking wearing your keychain,
Yeah, and so it's crazy because I like, even though you say that, like, by the time I came to juvenile hall, I was already an extremely violent kid just because I was such an impulsive and angry, hurt child. Yeah, exactly. But it was because, for me, it was more of an emotional thing. I was emotionally unstable. But
this is going to cut off right now, James. We're going to give you a call back.
Okay. All right, cool. We'll be waiting.
Hey, you got to get some commercials ready. Start getting some sponsorships.
I'm going to try to get some calls. I'm going to try to get some of our listeners to call in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if there's anybody out there that's listening that would like to call in, if you look down at the bottom of the stream, you'll see a text. Oh, you know what? But I think my video is a little bit laggy. So I'll go ahead and read off the number. I'll put it in the chat. If you want to call in, the number is area code 716-330-1021. If you're within the United States, if you're outside the United States, you could also use WhatsApp. And the number's also on the screen. And the country code for that phone number is 52. And let me see. And that would be the country code for Mexico. And let me see. I'm just waiting for it to scroll back around so I could, because that number I can't memorize. It's just way too many numbers and not a format that I'm accustomed to. All these phone numbers from different countries definitely throw me off. They just got way too many digits. They got too much going on, and their phone numbers definitely don't make any they don't make any sense in my mind. All right, so it's coming up right now, and I'll read it off right now. And with this number, also you could also do you could do WhatsApp or FaceTime audio, and the country code you would punch in +52 998-491-6731, and that'll go ahead and ring the phone number here if you want to go ahead and call in and share any thoughts or ideas about pretty much the topic that we're on right now. We're pretty much talking about the juvenile justice system, probation department, and anything that comes with it right now. Just a moment ago, we had David, speaking about his experience, and definitely a real eye opener there with some of the things that he mentioned that I did not witness in in my stay in the juvenile system, but I did see a lot of violence, and that was from the staff member side of my experience. Luckily, I wasn't at the end of that, but I did see a lot of other people, catch some of that. So right now we're waiting for them to call back. Normally they call back. They normally call back quickly, and here it is. The prison phone is ringing, and here we go.
This call is now being recorded.
Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
David Lopez.
un individuo encarcelado de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Tel Link.
Hello.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on with the phone right now.
Yeah, I figured something was up. Hey, let me ask you, because I was thinking about something right now while we had that pause right now. So,
Yes.
the staff members that work at these facilities here, do you know some of their background? Because I know, like in the halls, you know, a lot of these employees that work, you know, they came from the same neighborhoods we came out of. And some of them, you know, even had some gang ties, or they even were part of gangs. You know, and there was always rumors like, hey, this person's from here, that person's from there, and sure enough, sometimes you would catch a glimpse of their tattoos. And at some point, you know, in their journey, you know, they belong to something. Some of these people, I would say, I wouldn't even trust them with a puppy, let alone with a kid. So I'm not sure, you know, how they determine if they're fit, you know, to work in these places. But do you know any of the background of the people that work, or the staff members that worked in the facilities you guys were at?
Go ahead.
That's the thing. That was the biggest problem with the juvenile justice system, is there was no significant requirements. Like a lot of these people right out of high school, definitely some of the staff members were actually gang members, you know, but the biggest problem was there was no requirement, you know, like you didn't have to be qualified or certified in anything. You didn't have to have no special background or training. And that's where they differ today, where today the whole juvenile justice system is being revamped, where the people that they're hiring have to have some sort of background in social service of some sort, you know, whether it's psychology, mental health, educational. They got to have something that they're bringing to the table, because you got to remember, most of these youth that are going to these systems, they're still clay, they're still moldable clay, you know. If you put them in there working with the guys, like I said, some of these dudes, I don't know if you remember, old boy in our juvenile hall, with the long hair, he used to have the mini truck.
Mr. Russ?
No, I can't think of his name, but he was from Long Beach. He had Long Beach blasted across his back, and but yeah, there's definitely gang members, you know. But
remember the Penguin? Was that Mr. Russ? He looked like the Penguin. He had like the real stringy in the hook nose. No. Go ahead, Ted.
Hold on. Let me hear about this and some more.
Man, yeah, let's hear about the Penguin.
You don't remember okay, he worked there. There was some dude that broke out of juvenile hall when I was there, and I haven't been there that long when that happened. Remember the one that beat the dude he beat the kitchen lady? Yeah, he beat her. Yeah, he beat her with a freaking
with a mop thing.
I thought it was the big old wooden thing that stirred with or something, you know?
No, I think it had something to do with the mop bucket, because he took her out. They went outside to put the mops off the back dock.
Yeah.
I was there at the time when
he got her. Yeah, he got her. Yeah, because that's when I got into the fight in the room. Yeah, but yeah, he did that. You know, the thing is, okay, so that was in Unit 2, I think.
Yeah, they were working. They were working in the kitchen.
Yeah, working in the kitchen. Yeah, so some dude. But I remember that when I hadn't been there long. Well, he pulled us out. He pulled us out and put us on that bench, and he was like, "Which one?" He goes, "When are you?"
Exactly, Mr. Russ is now.
Yeah, remember he pulled everybody out, and he was like, "You know, you heard a defenseless woman or some shit," and he was like saying that like if we did it or something, you know.
Scared the shit out of you.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Now you know him.
Yeah, I know.
You don't think he looks like the Penguin?
Oh, for sure, like the one that Danny DeVito plays.
Yeah. He's got like a hook nose, and
he got the long stringy hair.
Like it's like a stringy mullet. You know what I mean?
Business in the front, party in the back. Yeah,
that's him.
Scumbag.
Yeah, straight scumbag. Yeah, he was. That's one dude that was just a full-blown freaking scumbag.
But that's crazy. So it's a trip too, though, because even with like the staff members that I've been supervised by, that I know were gang members. There was another staff member that was actually boning down with some chick that I used to mess with, you know, like, and that's what's crazy about it. Like, I get out and I go to her pad, and he's actually there. I actually went over there to sell dope to her mom and them, and of course, you know, go hang out with her for a little bit, and he's there, you know, and I'm tripping out on this dude, like, man, what the hell? Like, what are you doing here? You're a grown-ass man. You work in juvenile hall where I just left. You know what I mean? Like, and he's right there kicking back with, like, messing around with this young-ass girl. I mean, she was not young to me because she was my age. I was messing with her, too. But when I got there, like, she was all hugged up on him. You know, I didn't go there to see her unless it just happened to be that way. But I went to actually go sell dope to her mom and her dad. And when I got there, he's there. And in my head, I'm thinking, like, damn, like, the parents aren't worried one bit that you got this grown-ass man right here hanging out with this 16-year-old girl, 17-year-old girl, whatever. I don't even remember how old she was at the time. But, yeah, you know, and he was a gang member too. He was actually for Coachella, and you know what it was? It was
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and so it was crazy because like I said, I ended up getting high with him. I seen him later on in Juvenile Hall. He was like, "Hey, don't say nothing." Like, of course not, you know. But what the trip though is even with gang members and corrupt ass staff that were there, you know, honestly I could say in Indio Juvenile Hall, most of the staff there were pretty decent people. You know, at least my experience. I started going in at a very young age, so I was in the little kids unit with the girls originally, and they put a lot of the real nice staff there because that's where the girls are and the young kids, 12, 13-year-olds. And so I knew a lot of the staff from that unit, and then when I got to the older units, as I started getting older and they couldn't keep me in the younger unit, you know, I knew some of the staff. But the thing that I think one of the biggest things that shaped me was that I always stayed mindful is like, I think the staff that weren't gang members that like had no background in the streets or nothing like that, they were the worst ones. You know, like when you got to Riverside Juvenile Hall.
Oh, they were rough in Riverside, man.
Man, bro, like those staff there, like you're scared to death to fight there, like literally because it's almost like they couldn't wait for something to happen,
yeah,
but they could beat the dog shit out of you. Like these are grown ass men, big ass dudes.
Remember that dude? What was his name? He had a big old freaking gun. That dude was huge.
Stoudemire.
Nah, Mr. Davio.
Davio.
Yeah.
Davio, yeah. Well, see, everybody back then, though. Stoudemire, Davio,
he was
Plant.
Steroids, huh?
Yeah.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
That dude was like Arnold big.
Yeah. No, hell yeah. That was so bodybuilder big. He had big ass guns. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I remember, like, you know, because I used to fight over there a lot. And you remember, we're coming from Indio Juvenile Hall where they're not as vicious and violent with you, so we're accustomed to fighting in our juvenile hall. We go over to their juvenile hall for placement, you know, when to get screened or whatever to get put in placement, or because you get in too much trouble in the other juvenile hall. And so you're used to that. If anybody says anything or anybody looks at you crazy or anybody bangs a gang on you or whatever, automatically you just get up and start fighting. That's how things are in my juvenile hall because you can get away with a little more. And the staff aren't as violent, you know, like they'll definitely you know whoop your ass, but only if you don't prone out or you
they more spray you in Indio.
Yeah,
they'll spray you. They'll tackle you if you're not like getting down. Like they'll get on you, but they're gonna hit you with pepper spray. You know, pretty quick.
And there's gonna be a bunch of them where they're gonna like grab you you know, like they're gonna restrain you for the most part.
Yeah.
Where in Riverside Juvenile Hall, it's like the second you come up off that, you don't even have to come off the chair. I've been ripped off the bench and had my ass whooped for disrespecting the staff, for just being like, man, fuck you, or you know, making some little childish outbursts that you know, and but yeah, and I remember that I literally would be so scared because it's like if you know you have to fight, because remember, what fear do you have more of the way the other kids are going to look at you, or the staff's ass whooping, you know? And me personally, I was more afraid of how I would be received by my peers than a physical ass whooping, you know?
Oh, for 100%. Yeah, because it's just, you can't recover from that in the juvenile system.
No.
You know, if you do something, if you don't even put up if you don't put up any resistance, if you don't even put up a fight, you're going to have a hard time in the system. You know, you have to do something. You got to do something to establish yourself. And like I said, look, I was scared, and I didn't know shit about the system, but I knew that if that freaking jackass plucked me from my bunk, I was going to have the worst fucking time ever in the system. You know, I was going to, it's just a matter.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
It wasn't even really about being afraid to fight them. I was afraid of what was going to happen to me because I knew the moment that they closed that door and locked it behind me, I didn't want to be there. I didn't want to be there. I wanted to freaking come home. And I was more afraid that they were going to keep me longer. Everything that I did, I just felt like, man, this is just going to get worse. This is going to get worse. I'm going to keep getting in trouble. And then not only that, you know, you have some bully that's just basically, you know, other kids will feed off that. He's basically trying to, he's just trying to punk you in front of everybody. You know, he's trying to show that he's a really badass motherfucker. You know, and he's using it at your defense or your expense. I mean, yeah, that's just. Yeah, it's all bad. No, this is the thing, though. This is what I come to realize. It's a slippery slope. I don't know who taught me that term, but I love it.
Right here.
It's a slippery slope.
It's a legal term.
I think I've known that. I don't know, Jess.
Look, there you.
All right, so anyway, this is the thing. It's
such a slippery slope that I'm gonna have to put a patent on that word.
Look,
hey,
what? Yeah.
I think Jesse might have used that when he was
right
when he was representing himself in court.
Exactly, and I got that from the district attorney.
It's a slippery slope, Your Honor. No, this is the thing. Yeah.
I did get that term from my district attorney, though. She's like, to allow him to do that is a slippery slope.
I have to make my point, Jess. I need to finish my point.
Carry on.
Yeah.
Carry on down the slippery slope.
Can I finish? I'm slipping on the slope, Jess. I got to get that. You know? No, this is the thing. At the end of the day, right? What's right is right. What's wrong is wrong. When I was that kid that was going to the park to pick up my meth and with the staff member, when I was getting in them fights and I was, you know, doing all the little madness shit that I was doing, I was doing the wrong thing. The staff members that were there to protect us, they were doing the wrong thing. But let's go into a deeper dive of this. There's no easy way to correct a crazy ass kid's behavior. If you really, these fucking kids were nuts. I was freaking nuts eventually. You were worse than I was. You picked up a murder at 17. You know, these kids that are going in there, I know these kids. These kids were in the security units and the YA units and stuff, you know, in the halls, and these kids were there for hot ones, man. They were there for murders already. And how do you correct a kid's behavior like that? How do you manage a kid's behavior like that? Sometimes in kids, they need to get put in check, but it's wrong when you put your hands on them. That's child abuse. It's wrong with you freaking, you know, when you chain them all up and freaking put them all crazy and hem them up and do the little mind game shit with them. It's fucking wrong, because guess what? You've crossed the line. Now you're no better than we are. You know, and that's why I say it's a slippery slope.
For sure.
You know, be careful what you're saying, what you're going to say, Jess, 'cause I don't want you getting canceled. He's going to be like, you got to put a beating on them kids.
No, well, I mean, well, the reality of it is, like, they hardened us. You know, like for me, of course, I was fighting in Indio Juvenile Hall just because I felt that was what I had to do, because I was going to represent my barrio. I was going to represent myself. And like you, regardless whether I was scared or not scared when I went in there, either way, I was going to do what I had to do because I was afraid of not looking right in the eyes of my homeboys.
Yeah,
you know, and I for sure didn't want anybody to think the same thing. And of course, we've seen it. People getting punked, people doing whatever. So if you let yourself, you were going to be the next victim, and that was never going to happen to me because I had already committed to myself that I was going to make victims. I wasn't going to be the victim. You know, even though for the rest of my life I was somebody's victim at some point, whether it was to the culture, whatever it was. You know, but going to Riverside Juvenile Hall and being subjected to that kind of staff right there, like, it hardened me up even more, like to the point to where going back to Indio Juvenile Hall, I would even attack the staff. You know what I mean? Like, instead of just inmates, the second a staff got out of line, I didn't have no problem taking off on the staff, because it was like, oh, these staff, there's no way these staff can hurt me like over there. You know, like I remember literally one time I got in a fight with this white boy in Group 4, which is I remember for the young kids.
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
Yeah, Group 4.
Yeah, Group 4, you know?
Yep.
And in the blues.
Yeah, in the dark blue. Yeah, where the dark blue was, yeah.
Right.
I remember.
And I remember Mr. Plant. I think it was Mr. Plant. Yeah. He literally grabbed me so hard, but they would sit there and they'd be like, go ahead, get up. When they'd see you having words with somebody, they'd be like, go ahead.
All right, so 15 minutes were up, and that's why the call was cut off. They should be calling us back. As soon as they do, then we'll go ahead and we'll go ahead and continue. Hey, Ms. Vero, 559. And I just want to go ahead and give you an update. So I haven't got around to mailing out the taffy yet. I'm going to be mailing it out tomorrow. So hopefully it'll be there, sometime this week coming up. And as soon as I drop it in the mail, I'll go ahead and give you a confirmation, or at least a text confirmation or a verbal confirmation. When I ship it out, I'm not gonna add a tracking to it, and I'm gonna try to keep it under. I think 13 ounces. I think as long as I keep it under 13 ounces, then I could mail it first class. So all right, here we go.
This call is now being
Global
recorded.
Telling. Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
David Lopez.
un individuo encarcelado en de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Telling.
Hello.
Hey,
you see the video of Puff Daddy?
Which
no,
one?
What the hell did
That's
Puff
who
Daddy
beat
do?
the dog. The one where he snatched up his hyena, smacked her, dragged her, kicked her. He did some straight savage shit on his ex-girl.
The one where he was digging out Meek Mill?
No, yeah. Oh, my bad. Look it right here. Look it right here. Check it out.
My bad.
Yeah.
Oh, look at me.
Run down the chair in the hallway.
What the hell?
And the towel. Look, watch this.
What the hell?
Boom. Look, it's nothing.
What the hell?
Swamp on.
And he just ran her down in the towel in a hotel hallway, stomped her out, hit her over the head. Oh, yeah, he's done.
He's done. And this is old. This was a long time ago. Look at him. She fought. Look, he threw the vase at her.
Hey,
and she's beautiful too. He's tripping.
Yeah.
Hey, how much do you think he paid to keep that video under wraps?
Well, not enough.
Not enough.
Yeah, whatever that number is, you probably should have threw a couple dollars on top of that to make sure, because it's out there. I'm watching it. It's on. I don't know if I can advertise, but it's on CBS Evening News.
Yeah.
Man.
That's crazy though. That's going to work against him with all the other stuff.
That's got to be on every damn channel right now.
Oh, it's been on. I've seen it at least 10 times today.
What the hell?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so basically what I was saying is the staff one time he literally threw me across the freaking day room, like across, where we used to sit on the benches and they had the mats on the floor. And
what are you talking about, in Riverside?
Yeah, in Riverside on
in
the floor.
Yeah, I remember, but like over by the in between where that little day room where they put the bunk beds up.
No, where you have to sit.
On the bed, where the bench is at? Oh, they didn't have a ping pong table in Group 4?
No.
In Group 3 they have a ping pong table right there?
They don't have one.
That little spot right there, that match right there?
Yeah,
okay.
And so they end up he ends up slinging me across, and I'll never forget how it felt. I remember him grabbing me by like my neck and my hair, and like and my arm and he grabbed me by my hair, and then he like came down, so he like pulled me back, and when I came back this way, he grabbed me by my neck and my arm, and he slung me so hard that I remember, as I'm flying through the air, I remember seeing my leg like fly in a such an awkward angle, the way I like flew all crazy. I could see my leg, and I'm like, what the hell is my leg doing right there? And I remember when I hit the floor, I slid against the wall right there, boom. And
I would have been thinking while I was going through the air, hey, is that my leg? Hey, this is child abuse for sure.
Yeah.
Just as I collapsed, crumbled into the wall.
Yeah. No, I remember thinking that, like, damn, my leg? How's my leg? But I made like a fool's weird-ass swirl, bro. It was crazy. But I was in the air so long that I had time to think about it. It's this fool, because he was a grown-ass man. I'm 14, 13 years old. He's a grown-ass man, big-ass
Yeah, because you got to be that age to go to Group 4.
Right.
That was that age group.
Yeah.
You go to, like, Group 3 when you're about 15, 16.
Yeah.
Yeah, 15, 16. Then 17 is Group 17 is like Group 2 with the gray, huh?
Gray, yep.
Yep.
Yep. And so...
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
And it's crazy because you don't even get the opportunity, like... They literally just like rip you off the floor and drag you down the hallway, And I remember thinking like, damn, was it worth it? Was it worth it? You know what I mean? Like, but in my head, as soon as I got to the room, I was like, I hope everybody see me whoop that white boy's ass.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
You know,
sure.
but it's just funny. You know, I mean, it's funny now. You know what I mean? But back then, I remember being like, damn, this is crazy. Why? How is this fool able to do this to me? You know? And I've told the story before too about with me and Toker, you know, with Melvin.
I remember him, yeah.
And we got so used to, you know, getting our ass whooped because he didn't care either. He was another fool that was unstable like I was, but just he fought everybody and anything and so we stayed in the hallway. Like once I got to Riverside, they wouldn't even put me in the dorms anymore. They would just leave me in the hallway, and he would always be down there with me. And like I said, we knew that it was just going to be bad times for us, so we just started getting up in the morning and getting our ass whooping out of the way. You know what I mean? We'll start talking just to get them down there so that we could use the restroom, whatever. And just, I remember it was rough. You know what I mean? It was rough. Like thinking, I look back at it and I remember how when I would go to Indio Juvenile Hall, I'd be like, man, these fools are weak. These staff are weak. So it made me a whole nother level of callousness. It made me hate authority that much more, you know?
I used to just kick the door all day in Indio Juvenile Hall. Riverside, I learned the hard way. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't touch the door.
Yeah, in Indio Halls, James,
if you knock out the door in Riverside.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, in Indio Halls, like you pretty much are just bored, and if you want anything, you just turn around and just start beating the door. That's all you hear. There's nothing but kids beating the doors.
They'll come down there every time too.
Yep, quick. Like, what's going on?
I don't know. You got any snacks?
Anything? Hey, what time you got? Yeah.
Be like, hey, what time's yard?
Yep.
Like, you're banging on my damn door for that? Well, what's up, man?
Yep.
I've been here all day.
I had to use a bathroom one time and banged on the door in Riverside. And as soon as they walked down the hallway, I thought, all right, he's going to ask me what's up. Down that door opened, and I got snatched the fuck up.
Don't mind somebody. The first thing they tell you when you get there is they need to go Juvenile Hall.
Yep.
That's the first thing they tell you.
Yep, I turned around like ready to like have a conversation, and that dude fucking got real handsy. Got real handsy real fast.
And it's a trip though too that you said that, Dave, about the staff members in the group home or the placement, because I've been in several of them. You know, I was in like 3 different group homes, 2 camps. You know what I mean? And there's always at least 1 or 2 staff members there that are on that trip. And again, it goes back to there was no real requirements to obtain these jobs. You know, like you got these people who are, you know, can barely wipe their own ass, and now they're there taking care of kids. And I, the same thing, you know, they'd have us in the backyard fighting. You know, the same thing. I remember there was a dude from Yonkers, from New York, that worked in one of the group homes I was in. And that cat used to, he'd wait for allowance day to bring weed, right? He sold weed himself on the side. So he'd be like, all right, on allowance day, come through and, you know, hook everybody up with weed sacks. There was another dude, an older cat, he used to work graveyard, and we knew he was on one. We knew for a long time, oh man, this fool's tweaked out. And it wasn't until he gave us one of his pins, and he gave us a pin to use, and the pin was straight. It was his tutor. And I guess he just zoned out, didn't even realize the thing was caked with meth. And you know me, of course, I went and ran the old extortion racket on him, the blackmail.
For sure, yeah.
And initially he was like, you know what, fuck you, motherfucker, go ahead. You know what I mean? Get me fired and I'll beat your motherfucking ass. And I'm just like, all right, well, do what you got. I'm not worried about that. You know what I mean? Like, so think about what you're going to do. You know what I mean? Next time you decide to go out and have a good time in the middle of the night when you're supposed to be watching us and we're sleeping, you know what I mean? Just know that I'm going with you. You know what I mean? Because he used to take off and leave the group home in the middle of the night when he's supposed to be watching the group home. So now he got a bunch of dumbass kids. All right, go in the back of the van, sit in the back. I'm going to go pick up. You guys got to put in on this. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a trip when you think about that. You know, like how many corrupt staff there were put in play that were supposed to be actually helping us and teaching us, you know, better. And that's why the juvenile system is a failure in so many different aspects, man. It's like, look, there's too many kids that are screwing up, and you need that one-on-one time with those kids. If you want to make any meaningful difference, for one, not only do you need the one-on-one time, but you need people who can speak to these kids. You know, the guys who were possibly gang members or grew up in gang neighborhoods and stuff like that, they'll give you a little indication of where they might have been from, but it's different when you see the dude walk up to you and you're like, okay, this motherfucker, this was a straight gang member. This was somebody that I've heard of. Yeah.
And he's not over here hitting you over the head with a Bible. He's actually trying to because a lot of them do that. They'll be like, okay, well, they become religious, and that's good. That helps them recover, but it doesn't work for every kid across the board. Some of them kids ain't trying to hear all that. We need somebody to look up to. They need some sort of a role model. They need to establish that respect, and then they can make a difference. But how do you do that when there's so many kids across the board that are there? And we're kids that, and as soon as you turn around, we're up to something. We're doing something. We are those kids. If you take your eyes off us for 2 seconds, we're out a window. we're doing all kinds of shit. Now we're stealing something. We're AWOLing. We're out of control, and they don't have enough manpower to deal with that. So what do? You warehouse them into these facilities, into these placements, these group homes, these foster homes, these emancipation programs, but you're not really invested on the kid's future. You're doing what you got to do. Even the ones who are the good ones, they're doing what you got to do, right? They're taking you, they're teaching you about job interviews. They might even take you to some. But when I was at the last placement that I was at before I came into the prison system, they just dropped us off at the mall and said, hey, man, go ahead and do your best to find you a job. So I was just wandering in and out of the mall. I met up I met some punk rockers, and I ended up wandering the streets with a group of wild punk rockers. These
Wild soccer hooligans.
Yeah, and these aren't these aren't Blink-182 punk rockers, like cool pop, pop punks, stuff. Hell no, these were gutter punks. These are
Liberty Spike wearing.
You could smell these motherfuckers walking up to you from 7 feet away. You know what I mean?
Sweaty leather.
Yeah. These dudes were straight like the beginning of the Terminator. Remember them dudes? He walked up, nice knife for a walk, pal, with a switchblade. Like, I fell in with a pack of those guys.
That's right.
Yeah, get the fun. Yeah, these guys were movie punk rockers.
Hey, James.
Yep.
I wonder how long. Are you there? I was going to say, all right, James, just making sure.
Yeah. No.
I don't want you falling off with any of these freaking gutter punks from Riverside. You know what I mean?
Yeah. With this wicked lot.
Yeah.
Hey,
nah. Shower with their leather jackets on. Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm responding to the chat here. So right now, when we got disconnected on the last call, I was mentioning to Ms. Vero that I was gonna mail it out. I was gonna be mailing out her taffy on tomorrow. I'm gonna get that in the mail for everybody tomorrow. And
that's cool. How many people wanted a piece of that taffy? To the people.
So two. So it was Ms. Vero and KC Fan. But if anybody else is listening and you guys want some of the taffy that Jesse and David made a few weeks back that they mailed out to me, go ahead and let me know. Drop that. Let me know in the chat, or you could send me a text message, and I'll get that in the mail tomorrow.
That's cool.
And
make sure you send some to SoCal Fish Slayer.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
What's up with our boy Iceman and Fish Slayer SoCal?
I'm not sure. I haven't. Well, you know what? I really haven't been on. And then, and then too, the last few weeks, he had mentioned that he had been busy, but Hey,
well, we send our respects to Ms. Vettel and to Casey underscore.
Yeah. Vettel said she out there making taffy herself already.
I know she's gonna reverse engineer my recipe.
Yeah.
But see, the thing is she tried it with the pineapple, and the pineapple one that's probably the best taffy that you could make, James. Unfortunately, when I did it very fast with limited supply, and I didn't get that one. I used a different pineapple, which is a Skittles one.
Which is cool, but if you
it came out good, but it could have been a lot better.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
Well,
I honestly, James, thought you ate it all.
I've been thinking about it. You know what? So that day that I tried it, I just tried a small little piece, and then the next day I was at work, and I was thinking about it. I was like, man, I should have brought some of that taffy with me. But then I was like, nah, if I would have brought it.
That's how it starts.
That's how it's sending messages. Hey, can I get a little butt?
Hey, yeah, hey, going to give me another, shoot me another bat shot. I ate all that taffy. Miss Battle's waiting.
Hey, double me up.
Double me up next time. No, it's, hey, you know what I do is I stretch it out, right? Because it's kind of like, if I taffy, like happy taffy, you can stretch it out. And then I cut little pieces off there, like as big as an hour later or so, you know. And I munch on it that way. That way it lasts longer.
You know what? So I ate that piece that one day, and then I ate one other piece, a little small piece, a few days later. But I'm gonna be quite honest with you guys. When it comes to things like that, I have no willpower. I'll tell you straight up. So
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
That's one of the main reasons I never indulge
sure.
in any type of substances, because I don't have any willpower, man. Like when it comes to milking cookies, I can't even stop with milking cookies. So let alone with something like that, getting, doing the damn thing, it'll be all bad for me. So
hey, imagine you on crack or something, and in the background, instead of all the phones, it'll be nothing but like VCR and freaking microwaves. Oh, my boy in Dole, she's done.
Nah, yeah, I can't. I know.
Every time you get on the video call, something's missing in the background.
The phones are gone. Now he's got a toaster back there.
Yeah.
He's got a toaster. Hey. An old blender.
Oh,
an old
yeah, a fucking thing of copper.
Oh man, hey Angel, yeah. So I read your message. I'll make sure in the future I'll go ahead and start asking a little bit some more questions and whatnot. To be honest with you, I've been getting a little bit. When Jesse and David get on, I'm a little bit lazy. They normally know how to keep the conversation and going and whatnot. But I am gonna actually have some new people coming on. I have an individual coming on that's been down since the early 80s. I think this week coming up. So I'll go ahead and get back into the groove, if you will.
This call is now being recorded.
Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
David Lopez.
un individuo encarcelado de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Tel Link.
Hello.
Hey, what's up? Hey.
Yeah.
Sorry, we knew the 60 seconds, but I was thinking about crackhead James. That should make me laugh.
Shit, y'all bad. So for the best of everybody, it's just best that I never got involved in anything like that, because it would have just turned out all bad for me, all bad.
No, hey, but look at your life though, man.
Yeah.
You held back, man. You did what you had to do, and you had odds stacked against you. You were already starting in the system. You had homeboys. You came from a rough neighborhood. You had every advantage to getting into this lifestyle, which was actually a disadvantage, but it was right there, and you knew that it wasn't the right thing to do. Now look what you got, man. You got a beautiful family. You're taking our calls.
Man, hey,
you're making a difference.
You're definitely right. And you know what? And another major reason that I never got involved in things like that was because, to be quite honest with you, I got an issue or with commitment. I'm not good at committing, so I would have not. I would have gangbanged for like a week, and then I probably would have stopped then. So it would have not. I don't commit. I don't do good when you have to commit, for your whole life.
Well, don't let your wife and kids hear that.
No. Well, that's different. That's different, because. But that street life, you gotta dedicate your whole life to it, and I wasn't willing to do it.
No, that's good. With me, I think I had too much. I had too many issues with commitment, you know.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what, if I say it, I got to do it. If
Yeah.
I get involved, that's what it is. I'm in for life, you know. But I realize now that in unhealthy lifestyles, you can stop the cycle. You can stop it. You can say, you know what, I'm fucking done. And I fucked up. I admitted it, man. I fucked up. I should have never joined a gang. I should have never, you know, there's a lot of shit. Look, there's a path that I went down because I was unable to process certain childhood traumas, and I didn't understand what was happening in my life, and I went down a dark path. But once I became aware, I knew that I was fucking up. I knew it. And I chose to continue on with that behavior. At that time, I had developed an addiction to methamphetamine. I had developed an addiction to violence because I was addicted to it, man. I liked it. It gave me power and control, and it validated me. And anything that would have done that during that time, it made me feel good because I had a hole in my heart. I felt empty. I didn't have anything else that could fill that void. And the respect that people gave me and the fear that people had when I was involved in those things that I shouldn't have been involved in, that motivated me. And I sought validation through that acceptance. That's what's different about the David you hear now and the David of back then, is I don't seek that validation in anybody anymore. I validate myself. What I want, what my values are, it comes from a healthy place. And if things don't work out, and if I feel rejected, if I feel disrespected, yeah, I'm gonna feel some type of way. I'm gonna feel some pain. Of course, I'm human, but I'm not gonna seek out that validation and try to fix whatever happened. That somebody disrespects me, right? Everybody's like, damn, that fool just got punked. Just like in Juvenile Hall, and that fool did this and did that, you know, like, oh man, that fool didn't handle his business. You know, I'm still in prison. I don't give a fuck what they think, James. At the end of the day.
Hey, you know what?
I just don't. I don't care.
And right now that you said that right now, I just remembered about a conversation I was having with my wife the other day, where I was mentioning to her, like, you know, me starting this YouTube channel, and eventually people are gonna find out that I'm doing it, and I'm sure some people might stop talking to me, some people might not, but like I was telling my wife, you know, I don't care. Like, if people don't want to talk to me because I'm talking to you guys, then whatever, you know, like nobody's doing anything for me in my life that if they tell me that they don't want to talk to me, it's not gonna break me down. You know, it's cool, you know, like I'm focusing on different things.
Jesse says it perfectly. Say it, Jess.
Those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind.
That's one of my favorite Jesse statements. If he had a wire hanging out of his back, I'd pull it just so I can hear it sometimes. A little string.
Yeah.
Jesse's famous statements. Yeah. Pull it again, and unsuck a dick. Like, oh man, I got stuck. You got stuck on that saying. It's a slippery slope. You know?
No, but that's real shit. Like exactly like you said, James. Like none of them do. Nobody's paying your bills. Nobody's truly contributing to your quality of life. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, if they're homies, they're friends, anybody, it's cool. All right, cool. Then you either respect what I'm doing or you don't. But the reality of it is, I don't lay my head down at night with you. You're not, supporting my family. You're not, and that's just the reality of it. And like Dave, like I said, those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. And what that means is the people who really matter to me, the people whose opinion I'm concerned about, they don't mind that I'm doing the right thing, that I'm making the right choices, you know. And the people who do mind, that have something to say, that are on the side, you know, ooh, ee, ah. Those are the people who don't matter to me. So it doesn't really matter what they say. They're on the side entertaining themselves because they're no relevance in my life or my progression.
And those kinds of people will talk shit no matter what.
Yeah.
No matter what you do, someone's going to talk shit. be like, man, so you're doing this. You're like, you know what, man? I'm gonna stop doing the podcast. You know what? It's just, I'm just gonna stop. And they're like, oh man, that fool don't follow through on nothing. It's like, what the fuck? You know?
I knew he was a
that's
quitter.
good, man. Oh, there goes James. Yeah, that fool's nothing but a people pleaser. What the hell? Like, I listened to your advice. Oh man, you can't think for yourself. It's like, yeah, it's like, man.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
Somebody always got something to say, and that's just what I realized. You know, it's like, you know what? I hear people. I'm not opposed to listening to good advice, not at all. But if people are going to come and they're going to give me advice, at least come from a place of understanding and knowledge. Just don't pop off at the mouth on some random opinion that really you don't understand. Like, realistically, at the end of the day, right? You're doing a good thing. You're helping to transform lives. You, James, just the things that you're doing on this podcast are contributing to people's reentry, to public safety. You're helping to ensure public safety. That's what you're doing. Yeah. You're not taking us to the park to go buy us freaking meth. You're not doing that. You're not doing that. You're taking time out of your day, and you're bringing our voice to the masses. But not only that, you're a man of action. You're not just sitting there behind that computer. You're flying around. You're flying to Los Angeles. You're having these conversations. You've been here outside of this prison to pick up Blue.
Yeah.
You shot a video of it. And what did you do? You got him to his next stop. You helped transform his life. You're a part of his success.
And the reality of it is, just through this channel alone, I believe that we have established our future careers, our future jobs.
Yeah.
You know, we've developed friendships. You know, I'm currently we're both about to be working on a scientific research project. You know, that can change, may be able to change the process of parole. Or, you know, going to the parole board.
This is a part of a research team.
Yeah.
I'm going to work in a union, and Jesse's more than likely going to work for the union also. But we established that type of future, those plans, because of your actions. Yeah. And what are the people doing to make things better that are talking shit? What are they doing? What could they do?
They're on TikTok gangbanging.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, and that's what that's the thing. It's like, okay, well, what are you doing to make a difference? And I can tell you right now, I know what I do every day to make a difference, even in this place. Just saying no and standing up for myself in here and saying, look, I'm not going to do that. I'm not gonna fight. I'm not gonna make this yard a dangerous place anymore. I'm not gonna do it. I did it before. I did it for years. I hurt a lot of people in here, James. A lot of freaking people, man. I victimized a lot of people in this place, and I'm not gonna do it no more. If I'm not safe because of it in here, well, at least I die in peace, man. I die a good man, and that's just what it comes down to. I just don't want to do it no more, and I'm not gonna. And I don't give a fuck what they do. They're not gonna make me.
Let me ask you something, because you said something earlier on. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to say in the exact same words you said it, but you said at some point you realized what you were doing it wasn't positive, but you continued doing it. What prevented you from being able to try something different?
It was my value. I felt like I told you I was empty.
Yeah.
I didn't, without that reinforcement from my peers, and they were negative peers, man. They did not have my best interest in mind. But without those attaboys, I felt like I was nothing. I felt like I had no peace in this world, man. I was without value. And I knew that what I was doing was wrong, but that need to be accepted superseded that. Period. I was willing to hurt people. I was willing to break the law. And at the end of the day, I was willing to kill to maintain that status and that acceptance. And not only did that get me a life sentence, but it also led to somebody's death. And it's insane that I let it come to that. You know, I was that selfish. I was that insecure to reach that point. And it's taken a lot of work. That change doesn't come overnight. You don't just suddenly say, well,
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
I know what you don't just say, hey, I know what I'm doing is not the right thing to do, and I'm just gonna freaking hit my car in reverse and go back the other direction. It doesn't work like that. You're basically going in reverse with 4 flat tires. You know, you have to, yeah, you know, it's not that easy. You have to work on yourself. You don't got a rear view mirror. You're just basically shifting in reverse, and you're just flying blind. You know, so it was people. There was people that were back there that told me to slow down. I knew what I was doing, and I wanted to hit the car in reverse. But there was people there, and I was very lucky to have very positive people and encouraging people in my path that recognized the pain that I was going through, recognized my potential, and they were able to guide me. They were able to push me over the finish line. My car ran out of gas. Guess what they did? They went in front and they started pushing me. Get out of here. Let's get you out of here. Let's get you right. And they were pushing me towards a more positive direction. They were pushing me. They didn't spoon feed me. They were giving me the tools. They were showing me. They trudged a path of recovery before me out of insanity. That's step 2 for CGA. And they showed me, look, we did it already. It's okay. You're going to be safe. Yeah, prison's a dangerous place, but look, we're alive. We're doing it. Nothing bad is happening to us. You know, we still command some respect. They told me what I needed to hear. You know, because at that time I was
queda un restante de 60 segundos.
I was thinking in my head, well, who am I? I'm not going to, you know, no one's going to respect me. No one's going to like me. No one's going to love me. I'm not worthy of any of those things. And now I don't even have these things in my arsenal that are going to maintain that status. They're telling me, look, man, you can get it in a whole different direction, man. You can feel good about yourself. And they were consistent.
All right, so this call came to an end. They should be calling back shortly, and as soon as they do, we'll go ahead and continue with these conversations. And hopefully, you guys are getting some type of value, you know, out of you know, me bringing these gentlemen on, you know, week after week. You know, I do, because they definitely help me out. And I never that was nothing. That wasn't something that was on my radar before I started this this channel. But you know, they say something, and you know, and that's definitely you know, got me to thinking. They say criminal thinking, you know, like certain things that you do, it's criminal thinking, and man, I definitely I can definitely, you know, relate to that, even on things that I didn't think that were criminal thinking, you know, like, you know, having a cell phone in prison, you know, it's
Esta es Global Telling.
This call is
Usted
now
tiene
being
una
recorded.
llamada prepagada de
David Lopez.
un individuo encarcelado en de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Telling.
hello.
Hello? Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, did it cut off on me?
Yeah. It just straight cut off. I thought you had hung up. You pulled the trigger a little bit early.
I don't know. Did I finish saying my did I finish talking, or did it just cut off?
I think I don't, my short-term memory is all jacked up, but in my mind you finished. You made it to the finish line.
All right, cool.
Hey, but you know what? Right now, when the call got disconnected, you know, I was mentioning something to the audience that you know, when I started this, you know, this journey, I never I never thought that what you guys would be, the journeys that you're sharing with us, me, and everybody, that they would help me realize like certain things. And one of the things you guys help me out with is criminal thinking. Things like, to me, like I have a different way of thinking. I don't think I think like the next person. I look at things a little bit differently, and to me, like having a cell phone in your cell, I don't think of it as criminal. But like hearing you and some of you guys going to the parole board and getting denied for having a phone, I'm like, shit, like I'm criminal thinking all day, every day. So
yeah. And that's what's important to understand. It's like, look, it's okay. So let's say that one came in, right? And that one came in the cell, right? That right there, it doesn't seem like it's such a big deal, right? But it is. There's so many things behind that led to why we're here. That led to the murder, both of us. That type of thinking, that type of behavior, and it's not just using a phone.
But it's not so much a problem either for James, because the reality is you had the self-discipline. Everybody criminal thinks. I'm going to probably criminal think until the day I die, just like every other human being has some sort of level of criminal thinking. That the problem with us is we were so irresponsible that we acted on just about every criminal thought that we possessed.
That's what it was, yeah.
And with you, it's like, yeah, you can think like that, because to be honest with you, there's nothing wrong with first, if somebody's got a cell phone, there's nothing wrong with that in of itself. But the thing, how did he get that phone? Yeah. What is he doing with that phone?
There's a lot more that comes into.
Yeah, like we
sliding under the door.
Right, we bend one rule, we're bending them all. We're willing to bend them all, and so you can't compromise. But it's the same thing with people out there that use drugs recreationally. Hey, if that's what you do, it's the same thing as drinking. Using drugs is no different than drinking. It's just people who become drug addicts or alcoholics. That's the problem. If people use recreationally, that's on them. If you can think crazy shit, but you have enough discipline and self-control not to be acting on it, handle your business. There's people that get caught up in road rage incidents every day that's like, they're thinking, man, if I had a gun right now, I'd shoot this motherfucker. But that's the difference between them and people like how we used to be, is somebody cuts me off on the road, I'm shooting into his car. Or I'm going to catch up to the side of him, pull over, fool, let me get at you real quick, and that's where you're acting on your criminal thinking, And so you were going to say something, though, James. It sounded like you were on a train of thought, though. You were basically saying about you criminal thinking.
Oh, man, it got derailed right now when you started talking about road rage, because I was like, man, road rage, that sounds like my wife. Good thing she's not strapped, because she'll be letting loose on everybody,
Yeah, but surely. Miss, your wife, Miss Beto, and Casey _ do not criminally think. Yeah. That's reserved solely for you.
Yeah. Hey, so who all's listening right now?
Who do we got here? We got to send our shout-outs.
So right now we got so we had Mr. Angel Gaming, and he wrote
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
He wrote Cubo everyone. And we also got Miss Vero 559. Happy Friday, everyone. And then we got Michael Snary from Toronto, Canada.
Hey, you found a way to say it. Canada.
Canada.
You got your shout out. You got your shout out in the total language. Great. Respect to you in Canada.
Yeah.
Hey, I haven't seen Canada in the news a lot lately.
Straight from the Maple Leaf.
Yeah. Canada's kind of turned up.
Yeah, it is.
I always think of like the Hoosiers. I think of the Hoosiers up there, and I see like I see the Justin Biebers and people like that. Avril Lavigne, I think is from. Yeah. No, but then there's the Drakes. But I kind of been seeing some stuff about Canada. Canada's freaking crazy.
Yeah, they got that
There's
underworld
all kinds of stuff going on up there.
Yeah.
They definitely have an underworld.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look a lot different from ours.
No, for sure.
It looks like they got some serious stuff going on. And the only thing about them is some of those guys speak French.
In the French Quarter,
yep. Yeah, they got the French. Yeah, French Canadian.
Yeah. Up there in Quebec.
Like the right, Quebec. Yeah, the whole.
How do you say it? Well, I got to hear it again.
Quebec.
Say it again. That was still kind of cholo. You said it more cholo the first time.
I widened it up a bit.
They have all the organized crime.
Yeah.
They have all the organized crime up there. There's a lot of organized crime. You got the mobs, you got the Hells Angels, there's a lot. Canada's turned out.
Yeah, there's stuff going on.
Hey, you know what?
For sure. But yeah, we appreciate them tuning in. Who else? Go ahead.
Yeah.
Right now that you mentioned
Shout out up there to Canada, man.
that motorcycle club, I recently saw a story a few months back that they had I think it was a dude that was Haitian become part of that group, and he ended up getting got.
Was he a Haitian Hessian?
He was Haitian. He was. You know what a Haitian is, right?
A Haitian from Haiti.
Yeah. So yeah, I always thought that motorcycle club only had I thought it was pure whites.
Well, it's white. They got Mexicans, but that's what the colors are for. The white is for the colors are red and white.
Yeah.
And the red is supposed to be for like Indian, Mexican blood, and the white's for the whites.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Hey, you learn something new every day.
There it is.
And I've read the books too. I've read the books, and it just passed me by.
Yeah, but either way, it's predominantly a white gang though, a white bike club. But yeah. Oh, so they end up getting them, huh?
Yeah, man. Unfortunately, yeah, they got. I'm not sure why or what they did. I don't think they shared that on the video I saw, but I found it interesting.
Hey, you want to know something crazy? Now that you brought that up, but not this. This is another sidebar right here, right? This is a sidebar, and so we'll just send our respects to Haitian, the Haitian. Haitian Hessian. Yeah, he's no longer here. Mysterious death. So we had one of our mutual friends, right? The homie Pit Viper, and he was talking to me the other day about he was blown away by me and Jesse, and this is someone that's known us since we were young. Like him and Jesse are like brothers too, and it's crazy that this dude knows us, spent a lot of time with them, and he was like blown away at hearing us talk. And he was like, man, you guys sound so different, man. We were always on some other shit, mostly me and Jess. We were like two tornadoes flying around the freaking desert, just eating up everything in our path. And he was just so shocked, man, about how far we've come. And he was listening to some dude, and it's on there, and I know you could probably find it, James, but it's a horrible story, man. He said it was on YouTube or it had to be YouTube, because TikTok would have probably took that off pretty quick. No free speech there. But he said that this dude was talking so ignorant, man. He's from one of these SMY gangs over here,
Mm-hmm.
And this happened in New Folsom, and he said it's on the CDCR website, but my wife kind of looked and she couldn't find any videos or nothing like that. But these dudes got out of their cuffs,
mm-hmm.
and they stabbed the dude to death on camera.
Okay, yeah,
and not only,
yeah.
And not only that is, did you hear he called and was talking about the whole incident?
Yeah, you know what? If I'm not mistaken, I think they actually did a dry run. They were testing it out to make sure that their plan was gonna work the way that they planned it out. So I don't know how far in advance from the event actually taking place, they were doing dry runs. They were getting out of the cuffs, running up the stairs, getting the pedazos. That's what they're called, right? Pedazos, or the bangers?
Yep. No, that's actually the pedazos are actually like he would have grabbed 2 ounces of something.
Oh, okay. then it was the bangers then. Getting that fierro.
What else? Yes, they go by that.
Yeah, pedazos, the pieces.
Well, yeah, because usually when we say pedazos, we say pieces, and that just means like an ounce of carga or something like that,
Okay.
So, yeah, the pedazos, that makes sense. All the shivs, for the people that don't know. I have to grab the shivs. I've never heard that called in here.
No,
but it's like all over freaking pop culture.
Yeah,
prison shivs.
The shiv, that's Law and Order.
Go ahead, Jay. Continue on.
Yeah, so yeah, I seen like some screenshots, but I haven't actually sat down and listened to the conversation. But yeah, it is true.
And the crazy part is I'm pretty sure I know the guy who did it. I'm pretty sure I know the dude. I know exactly who he is. I was actually in Corcoran with the guy who did that. And he the only place that if it was in New Folsom and they were chained to a table, is that what it was? They were chained to like a table or something?
It looks like a school desk, but all metal, and everybody was individually seated. Like everybody had like their own desk.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
Yeah, because the only place that we could see them doing something like that would be in an EOP yard. Because none of the yards in New Folsom would have them hooked up like that, and especially those yards are all active, you know. So it would have to be a yard, which is EOP. And there's even the PSUs there, the Psychiatric Security Unit, because the one that I knew, he was actually in EOP. They had us mixed in Corcoran. One block was EOPs, and then 2, 3, 4, and 5 were regular, you know, regular SMYs and shit. And that yard was a pretty crazy yard. So he was there, and he was messing up a lot. So I could see them sending him up there to that, you know. But yeah, it's just sad how that whole thing played out, you know. But my boy was like, dude, if you can hear this guy talking on that phone call, and just to hear the ignorance and the freaking madness in his voice, and just how brainwashed he is compared to Jesse and I, he was blown away, dude. You guys are freaking super far along. And it's crazy to think that I hope I never sounded like that.
That means a lot coming from him. That means
a lot coming from him because he sounds like him.
Yeah,
no.
I'm kidding. He was just as lost in the sauce as we were.
He was. Yeah, he was deep in the sauce.
Yeah. He's actually a co-defendant.
Yeah, no, my boy, he sounds good though. He sounds like he's a professional now.
Yeah, he got his shit together.
Yeah.
He got out of prison the last time, and he was just like, man, I was done. You know, he did 9 years, and
yeah, he just
was like,
done.
I'm good. I'm not coming back. I'm cool on this. Because I had asked him when he got back in contact with me, I assumed that he was still in the feds. And I was like, hey, fool, what happened? I thought maybe you picked up life while you were in there, got more time since I didn't hear from you. And he was like, look, fool, you know, I love you and there's nothing I wouldn't do for you. He goes, I got out of prison and I heard, you know, that you were still deep in the middle of everything. And so I told myself, like, look, man, I got to give myself a chance. And if I get in contact with my brother and anything he asks me to do, I'm going to do it. You know what I mean? So I just got to stay away. And that's basically what he did. You know, and he got out. He went to school, learned how to drive heavy machinery, and started, you know, driving big-ass tractors, what do they call them, scrapers and stuff like that. So started making hella money, and he got his shit together, got his life together, and he seen I had went to board. And so he was like, I'm going to hit this guy up and see where he's at, you know. And so he got at me and sent me a little money and was like, call me, dog, you know. And I called him, and he was just like, look, fool, you know, I love you. He goes, but the reality is I wasn't trying to go back to prison. And you know, I heard, I asked a couple questions around, and you were still deep in the middle of everything.
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
But it's good that he did that because he's absolutely right. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I would absolutely asked him to do something stupid, and he would have done it because that's how committed to the game that he was. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing he wouldn't do, and he would have probably ended up back in prison, if not for a long time, life, something silly.
Sure.
And instead, he was able to get his life together, and he's been out there for like 8 years now. You know?
Yep.
And living his best life. He owns a bunch of property, and he's doing Airbnb. He owns Airbnbs, and you know, he's driving big tractors, and he's just doing great for himself. So that's awesome. Can't wait to get out and see him.
He's doing the damn thing. So, do you want to do another call, James?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I want to ask you something. Do you think if you guys, we got about 10 seconds. You think? I'll just ask you when you call back.
I'm going your 10 seconds. I had 10 seconds.
All right, so they'll go ahead and call us back right now, and then I'll go ahead and ask him the question I was going to ask him. And how long have we been on already? Let me see here. About an hour. About an hour and 40 minutes. Not too bad. I'm gonna be out for the next few days, so I definitely plan on doing some more streams. So definitely be on the lookout. And if you didn't catch it, I'm actually gonna be bringing on the prison phone.
Esta es Global Telling.
This call is
Usted
now being
tiene una
recorded.
llamada prepagada de
David Lopez.
un individuo encarcelado en de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Telling.
Hello, hello.
Yes, sir.
So what I was gonna ask you was, do you think if you would have never left the main line, eventually you would have snapped out of it and walked on a different path, or you crossing over, actually gave you that opportunity to try something different?
Fuck. You know the crazy part is I hate your question because it's such a real question. it's such a deep question. And look, this is the thing. I probably wouldn't have left the main line if I didn't get in trouble when I did. I got in over my head. And I just I didn't have those types of problems on the main line. You know, I got into my issues on the streets and it carried over into here, you know, and I guess as I got older, I would have become disillusioned with it, but I don't know if I would have had the courage to walk away. You know, it's scary, man. It's a scary thing. You know, that's such a hard question to answer.
I think for me, the answer to that question is pretty simple. Like, as long as I was there was no way that I was going to do anything but that, because the reality was that was my purpose, that was my calling. Like, I found all my value in who I was as a gang member, as a gang leader. Like, everything about that lifestyle was something that I had built for myself for such a long time. So I never considered doing anything else. You know, like I was willing to sacrifice everything at all costs. So it wasn't until I came over here, you know, that I was like, you know, okay, well, you know what? Everything that I've stood for, everything that I believe in, everything that I don't have any of that anymore. So I need to do something else, you know.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
I fell right back into the same stuff because that's all I knew. However, I've seen a bunch of people here that were actually changing their lives and turning themselves around. And I can look back at it now, though, too. I don't take nothing away. I can look back at it now, and I do remember guys on the line doing half-ass doing right. You know what I mean? Like dudes that weren't involved in the shit. They just there, just along for the ride. You know, they were Sudan, or they were,
you can't say that.
Yeah, they were part of the
Southern Regional affiliated.
They were along for the ride, you know, but but they weren't active, you know, they weren't in the mix. They didn't get involved in shit, you know. They went to school, they went to work, they played their sports, they went to school, whatever, you know, like whatever it was, and nobody ever worried about their name because they didn't put their name in it.
They always put the double S on the roll call.
Yeah, on the roll call, they put two S's next to it instead of something else, you know.
Yep.
And like I said, I have a lot of friends that were like that. Those are guys that I truly appreciated being around me when I was there. But for me personally, that wasn't an option, you know. Like, and it's crazy thing about it is I can even tell you, like, I had a member one time tell me, like, hey man, what the hell are you doing? When I got my life without taking off, he even, you know, the first time I was able to get on the cell phone with him, and he's like, hey man, what the hell are you doing? Like, I thought you're supposed to be going home. Aren't they going to let you out of prison or something? And I go, what do you mean? I still got a life sentence. He goes, so what? That don't mean anything anymore. Like, what do you think? This was years ago. And I remember him telling me, like, what are you doing getting involved in shit? Like, shouldn't you be trying to go home or something? This is on the main line. This is fresh out of the shoe, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, what? And, of course, I'm saying what I think I was supposed to say, like, man, I'm here till I walk out this door, you know? This is my life, you know what I mean? Like, and he said, all right, well, if you don't care, then why should I? Like, literally, that's exactly what he told me.
That's
he's
the
like,
worst thing for someone like him to say.
Absolutely. So he's like, all right, well, go ahead. You know, continue doing what you're doing, you know, because his thing was like, we were having a conference call to establish whatever it was that I was going to take care of in that prison. And his first thing out of his mind was like, "Hey man, what's up?" He goes, because I hadn't talked to him in years. We had been writing back and forth for years, but now he's on the line, so I'm able to talk to him. And he's like, "Hey man, what's up, man? I heard you getting out of prison." And what do you mean getting out of prison? Well, yeah, didn't they take your life without off? I said, yeah. He said, what the hell's the matter with you? Why aren't you trying to get out of prison? And this is a dude that's, spent 20-something years on death row, a bona fide, killer, bona fide gang member. And when I was like, oh, man, that don't mean nothing. I'm in prison, so I walk up out of here. Sure, they may let me out one day, but that don't mean nothing. And I believed it, and I meant it, and I was willing to sacrifice my life. If they said, hey, you got to do this today, then that's what I would have done that day, and because that's what I believed in, So your question is, if I would not have come to this side, would I have ever changed my life? And the answer to that is easy. I absolutely would have never changed my life. The reality is that was my life, and anything else besides that, I've seen it as weak. Anything besides that, I've seen something wrong with it, And again, I look back at the guys that I remember doing okay on the main line, doing all right, and I remember people like me, idiots like me, I should say, would look at them and be like, oh, look at that dude, he's soft, because why? Because he's educating himself, because he doesn't get himself involved in bullshit, because he's not involved in drugs or politics or anything like that, and so what I was doing is I was projecting, my own insecurities. I was projecting my own, like man, this dude, he's actually doing something with himself, and look what I'm doing. I think I'm somebody because I'm the man right here, but look at that guy right there. He ain't worried about nothing around here because he's doing himself, And so, I definitely wouldn't have changed. I couldn't even change when I first got here. It took a lot of seeing what, other people were doing and starting to emulate some of that behavior. And I had to come to the realization that there was something wrong with me before I could actually want to even consider changing it. It wasn't until I realized, that I was able to truly accept that there was something wrong with me, that I was able to, make the courageous choices to say, okay, well, I got to start doing things different. I got to start doing some things. I don't know exactly what it is, but let's take baby steps, And so, that for me, that's what it was. I think for a lot of people, a lot of guys don't realize that there's something else to do until they get here and they see different things right here on this side.
So in essence, they kind of, did you a favor, by
did me a huge favor.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure when you were in that tech, you I mean, it wasn't, you weren't feeling too hot about yourself, but now, reflecting on it now, and looking at everything clearly, I mean, things could have been way worse. Now, you got a good head on your shoulder. You guys are thinking clear.
It was the best thing that could have happened to me, man, was coming over here. I didn't see it at the time, but man, it's changed my life. I have something left in me, I've become so much more, man.
I would have been dead, or I would have taken another life if I would.
100%. I would have definitely hurt more people.
Yeah.
I would have killed again for sure. I was out of control.
Yeah.
I needed to be taken off the streets when I did. I'm not the same person anymore that I was at that time. I don't believe it's right to kill people, and I think the opposite now. I want to see people thrive. I want to see people live. I want to give people chances.
Yeah.
When I was living that lifestyle, that was it. That was my religion, man. That's what I believed in.
And change wasn't an option.
It was not an. It wasn't even thought about. It was something that it was just about how can I acquire more power, more authority, more respect, more money.
And I need to clarify the change thing too, though, right? Again, we talked about it all the time, change and transformation, because I've seen people change. I've seen people change over there, and I've seen people change here, and I'm not. Change isn't sufficient for me. You know what I mean? The corruption and the destruction was so ingrained in me.
This is one of my favorite Jesse sayings.
That I had to transform myself.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because the reality is, I see dudes all the time around here that they've changed their behavior. They're not acting the same way, but they're still the same individual. They're still on some bullshit. They've learned to navigate this area right here, so they're super manipulators. They're super, like, they're still a part of the problem. It's just they've learned how to do it gracefully and slip under the radar. So they're not necessarily out here fighting every day, or but they're still part of the problem.
I told he means transformation. Change ain't shit. Transformation is where it's at right there.
Right.
And I told my wife a long time ago, years ago, and I told her, look, I'm in the middle of a transition. She was probably like, she's like, what are you?
Wait, what?
I was trying to say transformation, but I said transitioning. She's like, she knew what I meant, but she was like, I don't know if that's the right terminology you should be using right now if you're not, transitioning, quote unquote. That's pretty much reserved.
And the thing about transition, like Dave was gonna say about my saying, is like for me, change is like a piece of ice. You pour water on a piece of ice, and you can melt that change away. It can wither. But transformation is like a butterfly and a caterpillar. Once a caterpillar transforms into a butterfly, there's no going back. You harden up. You could freeze water and turn it into ice, but the second you pour water on it again, it'll melt back down into liquid.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
That's what change is. Change isn't definitive. Like transformation is. Like again, the butterfly and the caterpillar, and so that's how I like to equate it. And for me, that's exactly what it is, because I could look back right now, and I've learned the way things are. And if I wanted to be a manipulator, and I wanted to there's ways of slipping and sliding around prison. I've learned that the way, even being a criminal, I was a bad criminal, because I was all in on acting like an idiot.
Yeah, good criminals at least play it off, huh? Good criminals at least play it off.
Yeah. There was no. I wore being an outlaw on my sleeve. You know what I mean? Like I liked the idea that was them and this is us. There was no reservation. I wasn't gonna walk around and act half the time like I was a good guy. I was a full-time jackass.
Cat and mouse.
Yeah, and that was part of what I did. And these guys. When I got to this yard and I seen guys that were like programming and but they were still messing up, I'd look down my nose at them like, man, you fools are lame, straight up. You know what I mean? Like, either you're a gangster or you're not. Either you're about this life or you're not. You don't get to come over here and try to buy dope off me, try to buy a phone off me, walk around me and talk all cool, and then you walk around all day hanging out with a bunch of nerds, going up there hanging out with the cops, going to group every day, like all the stuff that I frowned on when I first got here because I didn't know what it was, and now I understand it's a process. Even for those manipulators and those bullshitters, you can't partake of a lot of that stuff you can't walk the water without getting wet. So everybody's at different places in the recovery. And when I see that somebody's just a manipulator and they know so much that there's nothing that they're gonna, I clearly identify them as that. I stay away from them, because the reality is, it's a difference when you're in the process of transformation, and it's another thing when a person has a certain level of insight and yet they're using it for their advantage to continue to manipulate and twist the game, then the chances of them changing are going to be slim to none, because they already know what it is. For me, like they say, woke, you know what I mean? I woke up, and the things that I know now, the things I see now, I could never respect the person that I was. I could never respect the things that I used to do, and I could never be a part of that again, because I know too much about why I was that person, why I was like that. You know what I mean? I can empathize for people who don't know why they are the way they are and are still involved in that stuff, but I cannot empathize for somebody who knows and still continues to be that person.
Can't do it.
Nope, not at all.
Got nothing for them.
Yep. So, but hey, James, how many people we got listening?
Yeah, what do we got here?
Right now, I think we got about three people, 2-3 people right now.
Oh, okay.
Right, that's cool.
Yeah.
Cool. And the two of those names you mentioned earlier, I don't know if we heard of them before.
So Mr. Angel Gaming, he's a regular. He's just not a regular when you guys come on. And then Michael from Toronto. He's been coming on maybe for like the last month and a half or so.
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
Then we also got a new participant here. His name, he goes by Nando, and he's been coming in here like regularly. So yeah, there is some new names. A lot of the names you might not be familiar, but they're definitely regulars. If you guys want to call back, and we could go ahead and give our outro, and then I'm not sure. Are you guys eating today? What I didn't hear anybody knocking on your cell or anything.
Nah.
You guys had the tostadas. Man, you guys are living it up over there.
I made 28 tostadas today.
Yeah, you're all right. I'm full right now.
Yeah.
All right, I'll call back right now.
All right, cool. All right. And so if you're just joining us right here, right now, we got Jesse and David right now. Doing the double action. They come as a package right here. Ever since they both got through their journeys, they've been coming back regularly. Normally on Sundays. Today I had a little bit of extra time on my hands, so I asked them if they wanted to jump on. They'll be back on Sunday. And normally, when they jump on, they normally have some pretty good topics that they like to touch on. And here we go. You can hear that the prison phone ringing in the background, right there.
This call is now being recorded.
Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
David Lopez.
un individuo encarcelado de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Tel Link.
Hello.
All right. Yeah. No, I had to make sure. I call fast, because I know I mentioned putting on commercials earlier. So in between the calls, and I just have to make sure that you're not advertising bars of soap and Astroglide or something. I know you're. I know you're getting into the prison culture a lot, but that's all freaking stigma. It doesn't really happen. You can drop the soap and pick it back up. It's all right.
Hey, and if it,
all right.
If it was an issue, we could start selling soap on a rope.
Yeah, soap on a rope. Yeah, it's advertising soap on a rope, and if it doesn't go well, you can get Astroglide. Don't learn the hard way. But if you do.
I know a great rectal constructionist.
Yeah, advertising plastic surgeons. Yeah, rectal surgeons. Oh, James, come on, man.